Well, hello and welcome to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the most innovative tarot reading on the internet. Why? Well, frankly, it's all about presentation. It is a complete two-step metaphysical technique. First, I only use 3 tarot cards. That's all you need to use. Each tarot card has its own frequency. You distill all 3 frequencies into one unified frequency. 3 cards, one message to reveal the essential energy. Because after doing tarot for over 20 years, I've come to realize it doesn't predict anything. At least my experience says no. But what I do know is that tarot energy is the science of potential, your potential. So I take the 3 cards, really distill down those energies, those 3 energies, into one clear, concise picture. No fantasy, no unicorn, no rainbows. It is the matrix revealed. You get the big picture. Simple, clear, clean, direct. And that brings your frequency to life. Your life, not anybody else's, your life. So that's step one. Step two is bringing the tarot frequency, making it usable. Think of it as a cosmic weather report for the tarot energy. Okay, so you have this energy, the energy of potential. What do you do with it? Well, it's important to know what is the cosmic environment going to be when you're trying to use this tarot energy. It's important. As I said, cosmic weather report, it's like you want to go take a long weekend. Well, depending where you live, you want to know what the weather's going to be like. If you're down south, you want to make sure it's sunny, it's warm, it's great. North, we love the summer times, but we also love our winter times. If there's a conflict, let's say, for example, maybe you're going to have a lot of thunderstorms, lightning, rain. Well, yeah, unless you're a fish or a frog, that's really not very entertaining. So you're going to hold off. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to use that energy to be outdoors, have fun, whatever. Same thing with the tarot. 3 energies into one. That one is super powerful juju. Now you want to find out what kind of weather you're stepping into. So I use 2 methods for that. Could either be astrology, because I've done astrology, numerology for over 50 years. That's the science of cycles. Tarot, the science of potential. Astrology, numerology, the science of cycles. Everything repeats, 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 repeats. It could be 24-hour cycle, could be a 24-month cycle, 24-year, 24 centuries. Doesn't make any difference. It all depends what the cycle is. And so it's important for you to know. How important is that? Well, I'll tell you what. We had the American Revolution, 1776. We had 2 planets, Pluto and Uranus, in contact with one another. They were not touching, they were in separate signs. But it took 250 years, because it takes Pluto 250 years to go around the solar system. It took 250 years. Pluto was back in the same spot the day we declared our independence. Interesting thing. So was Uranus. So it took about 250 years. They were back in the same spot. The exact hit, by the way, was about a year and a half ago. Take a look. You want to talk about evolution? You want to talk about the spirit of 76, all that? Yeah, we're in that spot. We know we have to change, because Pluto is change, it's evolution. But the Uranus part of it talks about revolution. What else do we have? Evolution, revolution, working together. We know we have to change. We're just not sure how we're going to do it, how it's going to get done. But I guarantee you, some form of revolution is going to take place. Has to. So you go to the Civil War, you see the planet Uranus again involved in a combination, but this time with Neptune. Neptune is delusion, illusion, not really seeing things clearly. And of course, Uranus is still revolution, which is exactly what the Civil War was all about. We think it was about slavery, had nothing to do with slavery. Had to do with our financial independence. Abraham Lincoln said it was a battle between him and the Central European Jewish banks. Central European U.S. banks wanted the South to win. He said, "Man, if I get schnookered in all of this, it's going to be because of the banks." Well, that's exactly why they went after him. So you see how the energies. Look what we're looking at now. Those 2 planets, Neptune and Uranus, are in the same spot. So we got Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, Uranus. Take a look at what's going on. The banking systems is all crumbles. Our economy is all crumbles. We have to evolve. We have to change. We got to revolve. The energy is the same. That's why it's so very important. Now, if I don't do the astrology, what I will do is moments in time, images that highlight a similar kind of energy. Either way, the idea is to give you the manifested frequency clearly. Power up your kryptonite, because that's what manifesting is. It's kryptonite. Knowing the repetitive patterns, you not only know your energetic destination, but what it's going to feel like, look like, be like when you get there. It's a spiritual kryptonite. And we're going to begin the evolutionary journey in just a moment. Let me kind of set it up for you now with something I call cosmic cycles. The message today is very simple. It is about the most important question anybody can ask. And so we begin with the cosmic cycles. Today's tarot message: where honest thinking begins. For thousands of years, we've known that the truth tellers are the ones who get into trouble, not the liars, the truth tellers. From Plato to Socrates, we see that what the establishment demands really has to do with telling the truth. The one question you cannot ask is why. Don't ask the establishment why. It is none of your business. However, if you can answer that question, then the pieces of the lies crumble. Life is a psyops, so don't wreck it for them. Live the lie. Don't ever ask why. That is the most important question. Let's fill it out here for you. But before I do, I want to remind you I do have an email, tau-tarot@proton.me, tau-tarot@proton.me. Please feel free. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to be polite. Just be honest. Reach out. I'll reach back for sure. Let's move on now to the thinking out loud part. We have 4 memes up here for you. All of them have to do with the vaccine. Rand Paul just made public information, and he says it's solid, dependable, honest information, that Fauci and others are responsible for at least 18 million deaths because of the vaxes. 18 million. Rand Paul says it is absolute fact. He can back it up. How ironic is it that only people speaking up for the vaccinated injured are the unvaccinated? And the vaccinated really don't respect them for doing that. That's what's really asinine about the whole thing. But here's where it gets really, really crazy. There is an article about hospitals, and we know that they've been dirty. They've been paid for passing out the vax. They've paid doctors for passing out the vax, nurses for passing out the vax. That's what they wanted to do. And there have been some unpleasant stories coming out of hospitals dealing with the vax. Well, now information has come out. Hospitals have quietly reclassified vaccines as biogenics. That means they can inject you with whatever they want to inject you without your consent. Because they're not vaccines, of course. They've redefined vaccines again now to biogenics. You ever wonder when people have a chance to do something good or something bad, they always choose bad stuff that will hurt you, stuff that will kill you? Why do they do that? Here's a case in point. So it's all dealing with vaccines, safe and effective. We're finding out that's not true. The information is coming out day by day. They're killing us. And they're doing it in so many ways we can't even keep track anymore. It's amazing. Let's move on to the meme of the day. Back to hospitals. Upper left. Wait till everyone finds out hospitals were intentionally killing people. Well, we know that. We know that. It wasn't just with the vaccines, it was with the ventilators, it was anything that they could do. If you were seriously sick, if you were old, you're up for grabs. Which is one of the reasons why at 75 I am not going to a hospital or doctor ever again, ever. If I die, I die. I'm 75. What the hell? I've lived a life. I'm not going to have them take it away from me. Not like what they're doing in Canada, that's for sure. So we go to the upper right, And here's this lady in a grocery store saying, you haven't fully awakened until you realize that 90% of the grocery store looks like poison to you. You can make that 100%. They changed the definition of organic, so it doesn't mean what it did 20 years ago. There's all kinds of chemicals added for color, for flavoring, for making you fat and sick. I shop at a regular store every week, and it's to the point where there's really nothing to buy. Nothing, not a thing. I know there's a couple of things where they talk about organic, but again, I don't know, and I don't trust them. I don't know whether they are using the reframed definition of organic or is it seriously organic. So I try to do the best that I can do, cross my fingers. You know, of course, now we got the plastic in the food, we got the plastic in the water. You know what's the number one chemical in drinking water? Estrogen. Women on birth controls pee, and that stuff goes into the system. They don't filter that stuff out. So you wonder why guys are becoming a little more feminine, why their testosterone levels are dropping. Maybe it's all that estrogen in the water that we drink, let alone the plastic toothbrushes. That's a whole different story. So this lady is coming to the realization that everything in that, again, you have the choice of doing something good or just doing something bad. No, let's poison their food, all of it. Is that a reasonable person? I don't think so. Bottom right, we got a concerned Canadian writing about Klaus Schwab saying, you know what we got to do? We got to force everybody. We got to force them to follow us. We have to force them to do what we want them to do. Just by virtue of the fact that they want to force you tells you it's no good. Here again, you have a choice of good or bad. They choose bad. Amazing. Missing link for today. Speaking of choosing bad, there's something called the Kalergi Plan. It was done in the 1920s. It lays out exactly what the plan was back from the 1920s, probably even before that, but certainly from the 1920s. The Kalergi Plan. Read about it. It's just going to give you highlights on this left side, but then compare it to what's going on in the world. Yeah. Bottom right, we're looking at a solar farm. This for me is hilarious. One, because Bill Gates just admitted, you know, maybe this climate change thing isn't as big a deal as we thought it was. Well, he knew damn well it wasn't a big deal. It was just a push for control. And so you have these assholes putting up these big solar farms. Oh, by the way, they are geoengineering above these solar farms, so they're blocking out the sun, and the solar panels need the sun. And what? They're scamming, and nobody's doing a damn thing. Here was something I threw in here just because there was room. You know that Donald Trump, I voted for him because I thought he was the best choice, the only choice. I believed him. I am greatly disappointed because he's done nothing for the middle class and the poor or America to make us better. Nothing. But he can send billions to Israel, billions more to Ukraine. He's now spending a lot of money south of the border, invading countries. He's looking for wars. He's looking to support the military industrial complex. He's throwing money at them left and right. And screw America. I am grossly disappointed with Trump. And, you know, there was this talk maybe about him getting a third term. Are you serious? I hope we can boot him out before the second is over. However, who do we replace him with? I have counted very carefully, and I think I can come up with maybe 5 names. Maybe. Thomas Massie, MTG, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, even Ro Khanna. And that's it. I'm done. I wouldn't trust everybody else. You have dual citizenship all over. I mean, it's a screwed up mess. But the thing that I was getting to initially is that Trump said, hey, you know, I'm for free speech. However, What he's doing is taking a page from the Bolsheviks in Russia in 1917. Cole Clark says most people don't realize, but after the Bolsheviks took over Russia, it became a capital offense to criticize Jews. Same kind of stuff that Trump and others are proposing. You can't say anything bad. You can tear America apart, but you don't do anything about the Jews. That's what the Bolsheviks did. And they killed, God, I've seen numbers go from 10 to 50 million people, most of them Orthodox Christians. Not good, not good, not good. Let's move on to the tarot, manifested reading. First card up is a death card. That means we're in transition, we're in a transformation. That's really where we are, but we're right smack dab in the middle of it. We can't see the forest for the trees, and that's obvious. So the next card up is the Seven of Swords. Swords are data, information, truth. Now, most tarot readers look at this guy and go, oh, see, he's a crook. There's some carnival or something, he's stealing stuff and he's leaving. No, you guys are full of shit. Look at the card. Two swords. Twos always mean got to make a decision. Choice. He is choosing to leave and he's taking the 5 true things he knows with him. He says, I'm done playing the bullshit game and lying. I'm done. I'm not going to play anymore. I'm going to take what I know to be true for me and leave. So the Seven of Swords is actually revealing honesty. We go to the Three of Cups. Threes always talk about community, camaraderie. The cups are love, support. What you need to do is support yourself. Mind, body, spirit. Those are the 3. Mind, body, spirit. That's what you need to do, is to love and support yourself. Form community with yourself. Take on the honesty that the Seven of Swords gives you the opportunity, and make that transition, that transformation. Nobody's going to do it for you. You better not sit on your ass and wait for somebody else to do the magic. The juju is yours. It's in your hands. Change you, change your life. Time's up. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. I know it's an investment in your day. I thank you for it. Words just can't say enough. Hey, why don't you like and subscribe? I was watching a couple programs today on the internet, and people are having troubles on their platforms. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. They're trying to take the truth down. This is their big push. Please like and subscribe. We need you now. Between now and the next time you and I do this manifesting tarot thing together, and I'm looking forward to it, peace and blessings.